Okay, so let's put the solutions in to these clusters that we already looked at. Let's not worry too much about the ranking. It came out of a uh, sustained discussion between the experts, hundreds of them from the University of California system. Obviously, you can take these and make them region specific as you wish, or make them contextualized to the vulnerabilities in your region. So it's a full basket that you can pick and choose based on the regional context, right? Science pathways. The first one here is bending the warming curve immediately by reducing short-lived climate pollutants, what we call SLCPs, and sustainably by replacing current fossil fuel energy systems with carbon neutral technologies, and by extracting carbon dioxide from the air and sequestering it for or repurposing it for commercial uses. So so-called livers already went into there in terms of reducing carbon lever, and the ACE lever, atmospheric carbon extraction lever. Okay. We will see what we mean by carbon neutral and low carbon and zero carbon and so on. We will define them more specifically as implied in this book. In the social transformation cluster, we have solutions 2 and 3. Foster a global culture of climate action through coordinated public communication and education at local to global scales. Local to global scales. That's critical. So it's not about University of California system anymore, or just California anymore, right? Deepen the global culture of climate collaboration. There are massive global climate activities going on, focused on observations, predictions at various scales, time scales, from days to weeks to months to seasons, and of course the projection activity under IPCC, which brings everybody together, as well as things like Paris Agreement, which has all the countries at the table, despite the dilly-dallying of implementing them or signing on to them officially by some countries. Governance cluster, scale up subnational models of governance and collaboration around the world to embolden and energize national and international action. As I mentioned, it's good news that even though the federal government in the US may be having political issues about climate change action, regional action goes on already, like California, Oregon, Washington, including Canada, the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative on the Eastern Seaboard, and so on. And these can be exploited to create global coalitions, and we'll look at examples of some of them focused on cities, for example. Okay, there are plans evolving to save the ocean, and so on. Under markets and regulations, adopt market-based instruments to create efficient incentives for businesses and individuals to reduce CO2 emissions. So incentivizing is important there. Narrowly target direct regulatory measures such as rebates and efficiency and renewable energy portfolio standards at high emission sectors not covered by market-based solution policies. So we'll see some examples of difficult to cut emissions. Technology measures promote immediate widespread use of mature technologies like electric vehicles, light duty vehicles, photovoltaics, wind turbines, battery and hydrogen fuel cells, more efficient end-use devices, especially in lighting, air conditioning, appliances, and industrial processes. I'm reading them out because I don't want to leave it just to you. You have it when you listen to it. You can read it again. Aggressively support and promote innovations to accelerate the complete electrification of energy and transportation systems and improve building efficiency. We'll look at sector by sector emissions and see why some of these targets are picked. Immediately make maximum use of available technologies combined with regulations to reduce methane emissions by 50%, black carbon emissions by 90%, and under ecosystem management, regenerate damaged natural ecosystems and restore soil organic carbon to improve natural sinks for carbon. Food production right now emits almost 25% of the total carbon. That has to be reduced. Soil organic carbon is argued to be a good part of the solution of the portfolio. Okay, so through afforestation, reducing deforestation, and restoration of soil organic carbon. Implement food waste reduction programs and energy recovery systems to maximize utilization of food produced and to recover energy from food that is not consumed. Okay, there is loss of food at harvesting level, at transportation level, at storage level, at consumption level. Massive amounts of waste. So starvation often is not about lack of food production, it's just availability, it's transportation, it's price, competition with biofuels, competition with feeding the animals and so on, and there is just waste. For example, when people get richer, they tend to eat out more and you waste more food at restaurants than at home. Okay, and there are efforts to collect those food wastes and convert them into biodiesel and so on. Can they be scaled up? That's the question. Okay, we will come back to each of these throughout the rest of the book, so not to worry. Just to quickly run through an example of ecosystem-based management. Here are the vulnerable communities being directly affected by climate change. Climate change interacting with ecosystem degradation, which triggers more disasters like landslides with extreme rainfall. It reduces resilience and of course releases more greenhouse gases. Climate change is also affecting disaster risk, undermining ecosystem and community resilience, and they directly feed back to vulnerable communities as well. Okay, so ecosystem-based management basically increases the resilience of the ecosystems themselves and the communities to climate change impacts, protects them from disasters, and sequestrates carbon. So obviously that accounts to climate change adaptation as well and disaster risk reduction. Okay, I just put that here before going on because we will look at examples of each, but this is one that I'm using here as an example. Okay, so obviously it's a very nice long list of 10 solutions, with each one having the ability to bend the curve to get us to our target by 2050 and 2100. But obviously it's not that easy, otherwise it would have happened already. So how do market forces, for example, accelerate or slow down mitigation? How do governance structures affect positively or negatively the mitigation activities, regionally, nationally, and internationally? Where are the key barriers? Institutional barriers, financial barriers, economic barriers, and so on. All those have to be looked at, but just having the list of solutions, the clusters into which they fit, and the levers that can be used to push the solutions are very important. So that structure now we have in front of us, and we'll go through it again and again to make sure that we follow through